to be fun. I hope they're ready to hear this. Hope I'm ready to say it. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Have you ever done something or had stuff going on in life and you're like, nothing is going to stop me, and the phone rings and all of a sudden, shit, I'm getting stopped. I had a long list of stuff to do yesterday that's now a longer list of stuff to do today. And I got a call around 2 o'clock from my lovely wife. Love you, honey. And she said, you have 125 cases from UPS being unloaded in our driveway right now. I decided to let you know you need to get those in the garage. And the reason is I specifically, and the UPS guy was more than willing to put it in the garage, but I specifically said just leave it in the driveway. Because when you get a bunch of stuff from China, the boxes they use are generally like the thinnest cardboard that there possibly can be. And when you get something that's gone from a dock in China to a truck to a container onto a ship, off a ship, through customs, onto a truck, to UPS's sorting facility, to my house, those boxes look like they have been hammered. And so I've got tears. I've got boxes literally that are being held together by masking tape. So I like to go through them because they're all stacked in my garage. And I'll do a picture sometime later this week. But I masking tape and wrap most of them. I almost create new boxes if there's enough piece of box left to create, so I can stack them all. I've got 103 more cases coming. I don't know if they're coming today, tomorrow, or sometime between now and the 1st. So it's going to be fun going to my in-laws for the day for Christmas Eve and not knowing if my driveway is going to have 103 boxes in it. But anyway, I've done that before. I've had my momentum going, and all of a sudden this little thing stops everything in your tracks, and you've got to make changes on it. Now, making changes doesn't always stop momentum. It can divert momentum, but letting it stop you totally is what you got to avoid as a business owner. And Dana Wilde today in her talk said a lot about your way of thinking. When she first started talking, I kind of thought she was crazy because she said, what's the most important thing to be consistent about? And I'm like, well, your actions. If you constantly are doing the same thing and have the same ritual all the time, then it's going to be habit forming and you're going to be more productive and more consistent. And she says, no, actions aren't that important to be consistent about. And the reason is your thoughts have to be your consistent backbone. If you're thinking the same way day after day after day, then the decisions you make are better for yourself, for your business, and those determine what your actions are. Because every one of your actions is determined by a bunch of different variables. So the actions that you have on Monday could be totally different than those on Wednesday because of the variables changing. And I didn't think of it that way, but it's true. Every day, literally the variables in the morning are different than the variables in the afternoon of any given day. But if you're consistently thinking the same way, then you just make adjustments on the variables, and then your decisions and your actions are easier to take and easier to make and easier to make sure that they're good. So I was really, it's one of those things that makes sense that until you're actually told something, then all of a sudden, oh yeah, well, I guess that makes perfect sense. So she says, let me find her, actually, you know what? That's the majority of what I learned from her. And then I haven't touched in on the Kale letter, which Kale is the co-founder of my Amazon training group. And he's awesome. I subscribe to his daily podcast, and today it's the appetite for success. Quit being a little wuss. Now, language may change a little bit here in a little bit because I'm not going to really sugarcoat it for you guys because I think it's a better message if it's not sugarcoated. He started his business on a $50,000 credit card. I put mine on credit closer to 15 instead of 50. And everyone thought I was crazy. When I told my parents that I was putting all of my savings into an Amazon course and betting on rugs, there was a lot of disbelief, and I hope you know what you're doing and you've got a family and that kind of stuff. And now that I've proven that the system works and that I know what I'm doing, there's a lot of, hey, can we help out? What can we do? We're happy for you. And that's awesome. But it's important to know that there's a lot of, if you go to a college professor who's all this business minded, but not entrepreneurial minded, betting on yourself minded, they're going to tell you the worst thing to do is put it on credit. My mentality is if I fail, then the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have like 10 years of minimum payments, and I'll just try to pay it off as fast as I can to minimize the risk to my family. But the worst thing that happens is I have to eat it. Now, having said that, this new bailout thing, I don't even want to get political with you, is the most ridiculous thing in the world. We're giving 70% of it or greater to foreign countries for bailout for the coronavirus. Bail yourselves out. Why do we have to pay for it? Anyway, and I know when Biden comes in office, he wants to start relieving student debt. I have over $40,000 between my wife and I in student debt that we signed up for, that we plan on paying ourselves. I don't need help from anybody. I don't want assistance from anybody. I knew what I was doing when I signed on the line. My wife knew what she was doing when she signed on the line. And guess what? Neither of us are using any of that education towards our jobs. I own a successful business. I own it. I don't need to have a degree to do that. I could have done that straight out of high school. She's a stay-at-home mom who's also a co-owner in our business. She probably works harder than any person I know and is getting paid $0 for this and is not using any of her education for it. But yet, yes, we still owe the government on our student loans, and he's wanting to write some of it off, $10,000 per person. I don't have the option to decline it. I wish I did. I wish everyone would decline it, because the people who, what about the people whose parents got a second mortgage on their house so they can go to college? Are they going to get any of their financial hurt back? It just pisses me off, excuse me. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about with Kill, quitting your job is often the dream of most entrepreneurs, and it is also what fuels them during the very early, very rough stages of starting your own business. How am I going to quit my job? I mean, I didn't hate my job. I wasn't even looking necessary to quit it, especially from the beginning. I just needed an additional source of income. I wanted something that would allow me to have the freedom to do more things for my family and with my family. Cale says that he actually went into a meeting from his boss, and his boss said, hey, listen, it's a conflict of interest for you to be a business advisor and sell a course on Amazon, training them how to start a business. So you need to quit doing that or quit your job here. And he said, well, should I pack now or later? I move a lot of freight. Most of my freight is construction type freight, and a lot of it is slowed way down. And so I just kind of got forced into this. And since I was forced into it, I grabbed it and kept running with it. I do pay attention to my customers. I don't have a lot going on right now, but I'm kind of been pushed into something that I love, and that's okay. But at least God provided that to be an option for me. But Cale says, in order to be successful, this is where we're going to get just the raw. This is what it is, because I can't sugarcoat this for you. And I'm going to liken this to sports. Those of you who know me know that I love sports, and that I am very much, I can do a lot of analogies with sports, with basketball, football. I played even roller hockey for a while, but I'm going to go straight to the Chiefs last year. The Chiefs last year needed to have New England Patriots lose a game in order for us to get a bye, which we desperately needed. In my opinion, is what allowed us to win the Super Bowls, because we were able to rest and get healthy. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a graduate of Harvard. He's a quarterback that they wrote off because he's short. He doesn't meet the physical requirements of a quarterback. He's smart. He's genius. He didn't get into Harvard just because he's a football player. He's a smart dude. He's bounced around the league on so many different teams. Everyone keeps writing him off. His back was against the wall. The team was knocked out of the playoffs. They had nothing to lose. And Cale calls it a don't give a shit attitude. He don't give a shit. He tore up the Patriots. They beat the Patriots. The Chiefs get the bye. We win the Super Bowl. It was all history from there. You've got to have a fuck it attitude. You don't care. I call it an FTW attitude. F the world. It's me against you. It's me against the world. Come get me. It's me. You can come after me, but you go after my family, we're going to have major issues. You're in my inner circle and someone attacks you, they're attacking me, and I've got your back. That's just the way it is. It's always going to be. And that's the mentality that you have to give yourself as an entrepreneur is you have to have the mentality that everyone is out to get you. I love the fact that my competition on Amazon doesn't know who Scarlet Arrow is. They will. I promise you they will, and they probably will in the next 12 months. I sold 4,400 units in 2020. I've got 9 days left to go. I've got over 3,000 units in Amazon and over 7,000 units in my garage. I have a chance to triple my sales by inventory that's in stock right now for 2021. My back's against the wall. I need this money in my bank account, not in a bunch of boxes in a garage. So what am I doing? We're going to make some sales. We are going to sell some stuff. We're opening 7 new SKUs that we're going to do a special live video to introduce them to you guys on. I'm going to work on some new pictures and commercials so we can get ads done. Our backs are against the wall. Go all in on yourself. You may not have an FTW mentality, and that's fine. You're just not going to grow as fast as those who do. You have to not care. You have to not give 2 shits about the next person as far as them versus you in business. Now, I'm not saying don't care about people. Don't be compassionate, because those of you who know me, I'll give my shirt off my back for someone who's hurting. But God's going to bless you for that. He's also going to bless you for knowing what you're doing and making the right decisions. So change the way you think. Start realizing that your actions aren't as important in business as your mentality. Make good business decisions with every decision you make. Don't stop progress. Yesterday when I went home to go unload my driveway of 125 cases that were sitting there, wasn't because I didn't want to do the work at the office, just because it needed to get done. And I have tomorrow to work on it. If I've got to work some on Christmas, I will. Because guys, guess what? My competition will be working when I'm not. I'm a Christian. I love God. I'm going to celebrate his birth. But when the family is playing with their games and everyone's relaxing, I don't have to take a nap or watch a movie. I can go do some more research. I can go work on some product pictures. What you do with your time is up to you. Anyway, I can keep going and going and going. We're over 12 minutes. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I love you as much as God does, and God loves you, and so do I. And we were going to have an amazing Tuesday. We will see you guys tomorrow as we get ready for Christmas, Christmas Eve, and everything that comes with. Enjoy your family. If you're already home from work, enjoy it. I love it. Like I said, I'm going to be working no matter what, because I've got a legacy to build for myself and my children, and I want to pass it down and teach them how to do the same. So, all right, have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.